I think basically the list is what it is. We've been, I think, I don't get a lot of satisfaction out of saying this, that we've lost 6 games under 20 points or something like that. I'll stand corrected on that. Because I think what it does say, that when you do lose so many games under a certain achievable loss point system, in other words, on the weekend 15 points against Brisbane, whatever it was, and someone else 7 points in Geelong under a goal, it can be pointed at a number of areas. Do we finish with the ball well enough? And I thought our skill level on the weekend was reflective against Collingwood, who probably went at whatever they went at, efficiency, let's say 70+%, we went 60+%. And that 5 or 6%, pardon me, is quite significant over a course of a game. Particularly you line up and you have 4 shots at goal that can put you in a position of challenging the scoreboard, which means it challenges them, which then puts them on the back foot. So we can't get over the line in those things. So is it lack of practice? No, it's not lack of practice. Is it perhaps that our ability to have 22 very, very good footballers on the ground is we've got some good footballers and we've got some players that play with a lot of heart, but perhaps the talent level's not quite right there. And we've locked in on players that I would love to have had Matthew Cruiser available at some stage. And I don't bemoan injuries. Injuries are part of the game, but I would have loved to have had Matt there to probably further advance his career as a key forward come ruckman, which then puts pressure on the opposition, but also puts pressure internally on players that perhaps have been good, struggled, and technically should have been in a position to be challenged, but get a game. So we can't put real pressure on sides at this on our team at this stage. So I think sides where we are, if you don't have that competitiveness in the football club, a long list, there's 3 players that are no longer here, and they've all played senior football at some stage. You get Scotland, Dygan and Bootsma. We can't select them because they're retired or they've moved on. So you start eating into the list of Johnsons and Holmans and Cripps and so forth. So sides can enter into a game with 1 or 2 of those, but you can't have 3 or 4 of those because you're going to get slaughtered. Because the nature of the game is the intensity at top level compared to VFL level is extraordinary these days. So we're not quite there yet. I think the thing that beat us on the weekend was the talent level. It doesn't say about the heart level. It doesn't say about the running level. It doesn't say about the competitiveness. Just simply, and I sum this up, and this is probably unfair for the player because he's such a ripping bloke, but there's a Collingwood player running around at about 179, 180 centimetres, same size as one of my players. Almost identical stats on the weekend, almost identical metres gained by the football, 350 or 400 something. One kicks it and loses it, the other picks it up and kicks a goal. And it's not got nothing to do with want, it's got nothing to do with the courage, it's just the ability to hit the right target or take the right option. And side bottom spins around, does it twice. We have a couple of shots on goal, either don't make the distance or kick a point, and you lose by 15 points. So we're going to keep going with our. It's not a matter of do we turn it around. What we keep going, we practice and practice and practice, and we give our players every opportunity to improve. We got a very good coaching panel led by Rob Wiley in the development, and it's evident. It's clear evidence that it's working when you see Johnson go out there and doesn't look out of place. Holman, Sheehan, Cripps is just incidentally he'll be back, whether we pick him for the seniors or not. He's come back off a broken leg. We'll have a look at those players, and they've all improved. The other lads, I'd say Sheehan in particular is a kid that's come over here from Ireland, and he's on the cusp of getting a game. Holmes on the cusp of getting a game. We've seen him develop from boys, and in Sheen's case, from nothing to where he is today because of a good development program. So how long does it take? I don't know how long that takes, but I know that those players have improved, and when they get their games, they'll improve our list. So, like Johnson kept Garland out the side last week. Now, he's our leading goal kicker from last year, and we've elected to go for Johnson. So we see that as a step in the right direction. Now it's up to Jeff Garland now to be better equipped to take Johnson's spot. So it puts massive pressure on. That's the sort of pressure that you have to improve. Well, he's just not kicking enough goals. And if you kick enough goals and don't particularly defend, we can probably get away with it. But if you don't do either, you don't play. That part of the game, you there?
No, I wasn't.
No, well, I'm not going to get involved in something that people want to guess at. Okay, so just let it lie like that. I mean, there was no problem with it a day later. Someone just chose to.
Oh no, I'm just saying. What did you make to the reaction after that?
The reaction to it?
Yep.
By the reporter, you mean?
By several.
Several.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about one journalist's opinion. I'm just saying there was a reaction in the football community. Got people talking about the state of the game and where it was at, and your opinion on it.
I'll say this again. We have got a unique game. To keep it unique, it must have the characteristics that have been built into it over 100 years. We don't want to lose any of those characteristics. It's pretty basic.
But it doesn't affect your desire of coaching the game?
I'll be the first to walk out if I ever lose a desire to coach and improve the group I have. Sheed has got his opinion. He's got a lot of opinions, hasn't he, Sheed? I mean, from, talking to people at NASA to the garden next door, so, whatever Sheed says.
You don't really take much out of what he says?
I take very little out of what Kevin says through Twitter. Well, Jared needs to come to grips with what we're trying to do here at Carlton, and that is build a side that is massively competitive. Terribly disappointing.
So
we know we've got a massively competitive person who has improved dramatically as a footballer, and is right now very remorseful about letting his teammates down. And it's up to us at the football club to find out why these things have taken place, and the judiciary have got it right. I certainly don't question the 1 or 2 weeks that he's copped in the last few months. So Mitch has got to come to grips that this is a game that's heavily scrutinised, and you've got to play within the rules. And I'm sure that I am quite positive that he will be a better player and person from this, because he's worked it out that this is really hurting the team, and that hurts him.